This is the DER Facial Beauty Med Spa Chair, Medical Aesthetic Chair, Podiatry Chair. I just wanted to share my experience with this in case anyone else is considering it. I have been using this chair for real appointments, mostly longer sessions where the client needs to stay still and comfortable. If you do facials, tattoo work, cosmetic services, or any kind of clinic-style treatment where positioning matters, this is the kind of chair that is meant for that. It is not the type of chair you buy if you need something light, portable, or easy to move from room to room. The first thing I noticed when I had it in front of me was the overall shape and finish. Mine is black faux leather and the look is simple and clean. It does not have a flashy design, which I actually prefer in a treatment space. The padding looks thick, and once you press on it, it feels like it has some real density to it. Not too soft where the client sinks in and starts feeling unstable, and not so firm that it feels like a table with a thin cushion. What makes this chair different in day-to-day use is that it is motorized in the places that actually save me time and effort. I have used chairs where you are constantly reaching for levers, pumping a hydraulic base, or manually adjusting the back and leg sections while the client is already on it. That gets old fast, and it also feels awkward for the client. With this one, I can adjust the height, the backrest, and the leg rest with buttons. In real use, that means I can set the client up seated while I explain something, then smoothly recline them without that sudden drop you get on cheaper mechanisms. I want to talk about the setup, because that is where I had my first real friction point. This chair is heavy, actually heavy in a way that changes your plan. When the box arrived, I could tell right away this was not something I was going to slide across the floor by myself. Moving it into my workspace was a two-person job. If you are in a second-floor space or you have narrow hallways, plan ahead. Once it is in place, you will probably leave it there, and that is the trade-off. It feels planted, but it is not something you casually reposition every day. Assembly for me was not complicated, but it took time. I had to attach parts like the armrests and make sure everything locked in correctly. It is doable, but I would not rush it, and I would not do it when you are tired. Once it was together, the chair felt solid. The frame has that steel feel where there is no flex when the client shifts their weight. In my sessions, I do not get wobble when I raise it or recline it, and that matters because clients notice instability immediately, even if they do not say it out loud. Now the comfort side, because that is what makes or breaks a chair like this. Clients usually react as soon as they sit down. The cushioning supports the hips and back in a way that works for long sessions. I have had people stay on it for extended appointments without needing constant breaks just to adjust pressure points. The faux leather is smooth, and it does not have that sticky feeling that some vinyl materials get after a while. I also like that it does not feel cold and stiff when the room is cooler. The headrest situation is practical. You can adjust it, and it can come off. There is also a face opening for when someone needs to be face down. I have used that for situations where the client is lying prone, and it is genuinely helpful. People can breathe normally, and they are not smashing their nose into a flat cushion. It is not a luxury feature for me. It is just one of those things that prevents complaints and fidgeting. The armrests are another part I ended up appreciating more than I expected. They can be removed or repositioned. So if I need more access to the side of the chair, I can open that space up. It also helps when someone is getting on and off the chair, especially if they move slowly or need a little extra room. The foot section can extend as well, which makes a difference for taller clients. Without that, tall clients end up with unsupported lower legs, and you can see them tense up over time. In daily use, the controls are straightforward. I use the hand remote when I am setting up the room, and I use the foot controls when I am working, and I want to keep my hands clean and focused. Foot controls sound like a small thing until you have a client on the chair, and you realize you can make a height adjustment without breaking your flow. The motors on my unit are not loud. You can hear them, but it is more of a low mechanical sound than a harsh grind. In a quiet room, it is noticeable, but it is not disruptive. Cleaning is a big part of my week, and this chair has been easy to wipe down. The faux leather does not seem to hold onto stains, and it does not have seams in places that trap a lot of residue. After each client, I wipe it with a standard disinfectant and a clean cloth. I have not had lingering odors or discoloration from normal use. That is the kind of boring detail that ends up mattering long term. I also want to be honest about the limitations because there are a few. The weight is the main one. If you are the type of person who rearranges your workspace often, this chair will fight you. Another limitation is color choice. If you are trying to match a very specific room style, you might not get many options, and black is not always the look people want. I also think you need to be realistic about space. This chair takes up a real footprint, especially when fully reclined. In a tight room, you have to plan your layout so you still have walking space around it. There is one more thing I want to clarify because some people ask this when they shop for treatment chairs. This chair does not connect to a phone. There is no mobile app. Everything happens through the wired remote and the foot controls. For me, that is fine because I would rather have simple controls that work every time than rely on an app connection in the middle of an appointment. If you are specifically looking for app control, this is not that product. After using it for real clients, my overall impression is that it does what I need it to do. It holds people securely, it adjusts smoothly, and it keeps clients comfortable long enough for me to do my work without constant repositioning. It feels like a piece of equipment that is meant to be used daily, not something that looks good in photos but starts squeaking or shifting after a few weeks. If you are considering it, my practical advice is to measure your room, plan how you will get it inside, and think about whether you want a chair that is basically going to live in one spot. If that fits your setup, the day-to-day experience has been straightforward and reliable for me. If you have questions about how I use it for specific treatments, or you want me to test a particular positioning scenario, leave a comment and I will respond. And if you want more real-world reviews like this, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.